Track connoisseur, crack distributor, rap, rhyme riddler, all the above.
I ain't a rapper, fam. Check my background, I'm a G.
Shine light from the
I ain't a rapper, fam. Check my background, I'm a G.
Shine light from the
I ain't a rapper, fam. Check my background, I'm a G.
Shine light from the
I ain't a rapper, fam. Check my background, I'm a G. I ain't a rapper, fam. G-I-A-N.
As a whole, this record, I would say, is one of the best works that I've put together as a whole. I mean, outside of recording just a single song, I put a lot of time in the content that I wanted to be put out there. So, yeah, I'm 100% satisfied with the project and not so much as worried about keeping up with today's trend in music. My biggest challenge, I think, is going to be the generational gap. I mean, a lot of people in New Orleans are familiar with Ricky B, you know, and the parents, of course, they have kids that they probably talked to about the music. I'm not sure what went on, but I think that's going to be my biggest challenge, you know, bringing together the generational gap to familiarize itself with, you know, who Ricky B is. I'm not worried about what people gonna think, because music speaks for itself. You know, if it's one thing that brings people together, it's music. And now I think we're in a time with music where everybody just wants to have fun. And when it comes to New Orleans music, of course, all we want to do is dance and have fun. So, nah, I wouldn't take it personal. I wouldn't have a reason to take it personal if nobody from the city supported this project. You know, that's like the least of my worries, because I do think that the city will support this project and the people, because, you know, we really do support our own. Maybe not to the levels where other cities do, but you look at the capital in our city, it's a real small city. You know, so I think for the most part, the people that do support us, it's in a great mass. I mean, you can't compare us to Atlanta and Houston, in New York, in Miami, LA. I mean, those are real huge cities where you can reach out to more of a mass of people, but New Orleans is so compact. You know, we have to, you know, support our own in the numbers that are available to us. Yeah, I do think that, you know, we devalue our artists because we call our artists local artists. I mean, I go to a lot of cities across this country, and when you listen to radio stations or you see artists making appearances, you don't hear the announcement being made that local artists such and such is going to be at such and such. You know, y'all come out and show your support. You know, it's never like that, but in New Orleans, we're quick to call our artists local artists. You know, and I think that puts less value on us, you know, especially when it's time to do shows, you know, and try and do promotional activities to get people to know who we are and what we're doing. Oh, no doubt. No doubt, when you put less value on our artists by calling them local, that's advantage to the promoters, because they feel like, you know, hey, I could offer him this much to perform, or I could offer her this much to perform, and they're either gonna take it or they're not. You know, I mean, it's sad, but honestly, that's the way the game goes. You know, promoters are gonna pay you based on your fan support and your record. You know, you gotta have a high record, and that's how they determine how much they're gonna pay you. But that's especially when they're dealing with artists, and I think that's where artists fall short most of the times. I mean, I've done it. Of course, I've promoted myself and did things to put myself back in position, but I really got overwhelmed at one time to where it was getting, you know, larger than I thought it would. I mean, traveling to other cities to do shows, making all of these arrangements and everything on my own. I had to assemble me a team, and I didn't have a problem doing it. I reached let's make it happen. So I think I'm sitting in a pretty good position right now. Well, the intent of my project is to bring New Orleans music back to what we know. It's a lot of artists out there that I hear music playing in the streets, and I don't even know if they're from New Orleans or not. I mean, it's hard to identify with because a lot of artists have jumped on to what's going on in the music industry, and they've gotten away from that New Orleans sound. Now, when I say New Orleans sound, I don't mean bounce music. I don't mean a bounce beat, you know, but if you hear that, you can definitely identify New Orleans with that. But what I mean is, we've always had hooks that included chants or some reference to our neighborhoods or whatever it may be. And for some artists, they probably felt like, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm from New Orleans. I want to reach a larger mass of people, and that's fine, that's great. But in almost every rap song you hear, artists are saying where they're from, and you can identify where they're from by some of the things that they're saying. So running away from what goes on in my city and the type of music that we embrace, that's not me. That's not something I'm cool with. I don't care about what outsiders actually think about New Orleans music, because it's not up to them to make the difference. It's up to us as artists in the city to make the difference. Of course it hurts when, you know, you hear concerts coming in town. You know, I don't really care about, you know, what people spend and how much money people got, but as an artist, it is disturbing to me that artists can come to this city and be promoted to the highest level. Of course, they have huger budgets, so it allows for that, and that's fine and dandy. But when we talk about the venues and the amount of people that go to these venues and pay $40 and $50 to see these performers perform, it's very disturbing when most of our shows with our local artists, should I say New Orleans artists, are $10, $15, and we only pack half of the building. But, you know, in actuality, we rip the shit up. I mean, we tear shit down, you know, and people have a good time. So it's a little disturbing, but I'm a guy that understands this business, and I know the more you put something in somebody's head, you know, it's gonna become immune to them, and they're gonna want to be a part of it because it seems bigger than what it really is. I'm a giant. 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 I Am Legend. Well, the way I came up with that title is that a lot of people I would see when I put myself back in position would say, you know, you're a legend in the game. I would do interviews and people would say, you know, the local legend of Pioneer or New Orleans legend, you know, so I kind of shied away from it. And during one interview, one guy asked me, how does it feel to be considered a legend? And I just told him, well, you know, I just know how it feels to be Ricky B, and it feels damn good. I said, you know, if people in the city look at me as a legend, then I have to embrace it, because I don't want to be the guy to be known as, you know, one who was on top, and all of a sudden he just disappeared and never came back. So I think coming back to finish off something that I started, and it was business reasons why I couldn't finish it the way I wanted to, I thought, okay, I'm going to go and embrace it, and I'm going to dedicate this to the people that called me or proclaimed me a legend, and I'm going to name this project I Am Legend. So that's pretty much how I, you know, decided to come with the album title. I'm a giant. I'm a giant. That's correct. That's correct. The company is Legends Entertainment New Orleans. Well, actually, Legends Entertainment NOLA, NOLA, but we all know what that stands for. Well, when we first decided to start the company, we decided to pretty much, let's look back in the game music to other cities. I mean, we were winning big, and we just got away from it. And props to all the rappers that are doing their things these days. I mean, music is going to change. Not worried about that. The music been changing for years. But artists, at some point, they'll always have to go back to who they truly are in order to be the artist that everybody knows. There's a lot of examples of artists that tried that and it didn't work. Well, when you say Sissy Bounce, you know, I mean, bounce is bounce, man. Bounce is the beat. It's not that, you know, I'll give you an example. I'll just shorten it like this. I talked to an artist, and he and I were interviewing at the same time. And I asked him, you know, how does he feel about the bounce music now? And he said, it's okay, I like it. I don't have a problem with it. It's definitely changed from back in the game, but it had to change because we couldn't do the things that Ricky B did. We couldn't do the things that Cheeky Black did. We couldn't do the things that Jubilee did. So the music had to change. And at that point, I got it. I was like, okay, that's the best answer I could have possibly received on the state of bounce music today. I'm a giant. I'm a giant. Nah, come on, man. I don't do rap beefs. I don't do rap beefs at all. I don't do bounce beefs. I mean, if it's such a thing, I don't play those kind of games. I mean, I have a lane. I stay in my lane. You know what I mean? And a lot of people know they have a lane, but they tend to put their blinkers on. And at some point, they switch their ass right back over. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be who you truly are. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to who you are. And when you realize that you're in a lane that you're not supposed to be in, you're going to come back to where you belong. And I never left that lane. I've always talked about New Orleans. Everywhere I go, I rep the city faithfully, man. Everywhere. I don't care how bad it gets. I've never been embarrassed or ashamed of being where I'm from. I've never been embarrassed or ashamed of the type of music that I've done. You know, I inspired a lot of people with that music, and today that music is still relevant. So it was only right that I say, okay, I put out a project and jump back in my lane and stay here because I've realized that this is where I belong. You know, so I didn't follow the trends. I did a lot of things underground that people never heard. So I'm not ashamed of that. It just was me being who I truly am. But I realized where I belong. You know, so where you belong definitely will define who you truly are because of where you come from. All I want to say is, man, New Orleans, y'all got to stand up. You know, we got to get our movement back, and I think the company Legends Entertainment is the new movement. I mean, we're doing so much. We're dealing with non-profit agencies. We're dealing with fashion companies. We're dealing with media groups. We're dealing with artists. We're just trying to have our hands in so much to where if anybody needs that roots exposure to get to that next level, they come to Legends Entertainment and, you know, work with us and we'll work with you, and through contacts and networking, you know, I'm quite sure that we can make something happen. But, you know, we just want to be affiliates. I'm not gonna extend my hand constantly and trying to pull guys together. I mean, at some point they have to take the initiative to call and ask, or shoot an email, or shoot a text. I mean, a lot of them have my number. I had the same number since 2001. You know, so you know, I'm good with it. I'm in a comfortable spot, and I believe in this project. You know, I really believe in it. I think we're gonna do good. I think we're gonna do good, no doubt. I'm a giant. I'm a giant. I'm a giant. I'm a giant. What up, New Orleans? This your man, Young, St. Bernard, 7 Ward, Hard Head. You know, Mr. Shake. Rick for your hood, yeah, you're right, it's alright. All that what you call me. But at the end of the day, it's Rick, man. Ricky B. Y'all support that project, man. I Am Legend. Available September 8th on all your online stores. You can go submit your orders at www.legendsent.com. Submit your information. If you want to place an order, somebody will get with you personally. You're not gonna have to deal with nobody overseas talking to you. You're trying to figure out where's my information going. Alright, we'll make this thing happen, man. New Orleans, let's get this.